Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to hit tonight to start off the beginning of the week, wrapping up the weekend, we got to dispel some propaganda because CNN has new game afoot, and you guys know I am right there sniffing it out, ready to dispel it with you guys. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear from you guys in the comments field, and please send this one out because this is really getting kind of silly. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. I hope you guys are ready for a party. Let's get it. Guys, it's important. Big news. CNN is out, and there's a new gun control propaganda push. This is big, guys. It's really different this time. Although it's not. It's just a little bit of a change. Check this out. We are going to get into this. Of course, everything's linked, and we are going to bring the receipts and destroy them from orbit. Check this out.
In the wake of the Iowa school shooting, with a sixth grader killed and 5 others injured, America again wrestles with grisly numbers on mass shootings. According to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been 5 mass shootings in America just in the first week of 2024. CNN and the archive define a mass shooting as one that injures or kills 4 or more people.
There's no doubt about it that from a firearms standpoint, from a killing standpoint, mass shootings, no matter how you count it, our numbers are still going up.
That's kind of weird, isn't it, guys? Because you guys know as well as I do that the numbers went down dramatically. In fact, I'm about to show you in about 3 seconds that they did. So why would they be doing this piece? I'll tell you the reason why. Because they're changing the narrative. They're framing it away from the gun violence epidemic in the United States because the numbers went down. They had to shift their narrative. We told you this was going to happen. They're now shifting the narrative away from the epidemic of gun violence to now focusing on the epidemic of mass shootings because the numbers themselves no longer justify the epidemic of gun violence. Now it's all about the mass shootings, even though it's a manipulated definition and they don't tell you what happened. But anyway, let me show you the Gun Violence Archive because they like to quote it a lot. Here's the source. We're going to dive into something real quick, zoom in. You might have caught it. Look at this. This is weird. Look at the banner. 2023 has shown an 8 to 10% overall decrease in deaths and injuries from gun violence. Some cities are seeing 20+% decreases. That's weird. That wouldn't have anything to do why they're shifting their narrative away from the epidemic of gun violence because everything's the gun's fault and now it's the mass shootings, would it? Yeah, I'm sure that's nothing. But anyway, since we're here, 2023 wrapped up with 18,854 homicides. We're going to skip back past 22, past 21, and past 2020. They actually landed somewhere between 2019 and 2020 numbers, pre-pandemic levels. I'm sure nothing else had anything to do with it except the fact that the pandemic was in place. Just saying, guys, this is on their own website, so they're not telling you that. They're only telling you about, look how bad the mass shootings are, when it's based on a false narrative anyway. But let's continue, because now CNN, in their amazingly non-biased way, somehow got the exact logos for Everytown for gun safety and a great expose from one of their senior VPs. Check this out. I'm sure this is just coincidence.
Meanwhile, a new study from the group Everytown for Gun Safety, a nonprofit gun violence prevention organization, says that nearly 300,000 lives could be saved from gun violence in the U.S. over the next decade if every state enacted gun control laws like California's and New York's.
What we found is a direct correlation. The stronger your gun laws, the lower your rate of gun violence in the state. The result is that states with weak gun laws that score poorly in our ranking have the highest rates of gun violence.
No, it hurts. It hurts a lot. Okay, so let's just start with the very obvious one. So they just said if we only were to put in the gun control laws from California and New York, we would have a reduction of, do this right. We would save 300,000 lives in the next decade. Well, you guys know me, and I kind of broke down some numbers. Let me just share some with you, and then I'll show you what reality says in Ohio that we just covered. So if you've got 300,000, that means over a 10-year period, the average would be 30,000. Okay, that's obvious. Right now, the average overall deaths via method of gun is 45,000. That's suicides and homicides, okay? So that means that 450,000 would be the total if the average is held after 10 years. They're saying they can reduce it by 300,000, which would equate to a 66% decrease in a decade if only we just did all the California and New York gun control laws, even though Again, some of the worst gun violence areas, as they like to call it, are complete gun control cities. Chicago, D.C., New York. I mean, like we can get on the list all day long. And any city that's in a red state that they like to say, oh, look, the red states are so bad, they're Democrat-run cities. Oh, it hurts so bad. But anyway, let's go back to numbers because, 66%. Yeah, okay. Well, now we're going to look at something that actually lives in reality with actual data, not just complete conjecture and what ifs. Change in concealed carry law did not drive violent crime in Ohio cities. Study shows. I did a video on this one. Constitutional carry law took effect and the numbers did not go up. In fact, here's a little infographic. They went down dramatically. In 6 out of 8 cities in Ohio, it went down 18 to 20% in some of them. Still waiting because ours has actual data that actually shows what happened before and what happened after in an actual case of constitutional carry being deployed. And you're saying over 300,000 lives could be saved if then and if this and if Mars is in retrograde and this might happen. What? It doesn't make sense. And now this next one, I saved the best for last, my beautiful people, because I love you guys so much. Remember, the answer here is more gun control laws like California and New York, and all the problems in the world will be gone by 66%. They just told you, so it must be true. And then CNN comes out and says this to wrap up the report.
Even with the good news on violent crime and homicide drops and the progress on guns, top law enforcement officials are still pointing to major areas of concern. Among them, the proliferation of black market guns in America. Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco says right now the ATF is tracing more illegally deployed firearms than ever before.
How's that possible? I don't understand. You have more gun control laws and you're touting the Senate Safer Communities Bipartisan Infringement Act. How's that possible if you've had more black market gun sales than have ever been done before, which also flies in the face of existing gun laws? And meanwhile, here comes Everytown for Gun Safety, conveniently located in a CNN ad hit piece about saving 300,000 lives, saying that those gun laws would save 300,000 lives, even though they said at the end of this that the black market, which is violating all existing gun laws, it's never been as big. Guys, you cannot make this stuff up. I would look at these things and I'm just like, okay, guess we don't have something to talk about today. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.